Hello, friends. You all are once again welcome to this regular answer writing series. This is day 34th, and we have completed all the units except three. This is the first unit, and the philosophers, moral philosophers, that one unit, and the case studies. These three units have uh, been left now. So I have decided to start with unit one, and in this, I will take the questions of unit one and the unit of moral philosophers. मोरल फिलोसफर्स वाली यूनिट से बहुत रेगुलर क्वेश्चंस कोर्ट के फॉर्म में ही आते हैं एंड द सेकेंड वे ऑफ आस्किंग द क्वेश्चन इज डायरेक्टली दे आस्क सम फिलोसफर. So if they directly ask some philosophers, so you have to know broadly what all philosophers you can, but there are limitation. You cannot prepare all of them, and they will not ask very less known philosophers. So I will be taking one question of quote, another question from unit 1. So that is the broad approach from today onward, and I have placed this today's question in the group, and most of you have written. This is day 34th, and this is the QR code. Those who are interested to join the initiative can start. You may start with the unit, any unit from the beginning, and the best is you start with day 1, because every day I take some special discussion for the day. So let us begin with new set of question, and I hope you all are giving your best and leaving no stone unturned to get success in the upcoming exam. Let us begin with two more questions. The first one is, so today is the this quote question I have given. This is a bit tricky, so let me explain you this in detail. What can be the mistakes you may commit, and uh, let us see how we can learn this. And this is the PYQ of UPSC. Okay, UPSC has asked this question earlier, so let's begin on that. First of all, it says, we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. A child we can forgive who is afraid of the dark. This is the first point. And second part of the quote says, the real tragedy of life is, the real tragedy of the life is, the real tragedy of the life the real tragedy of the life is when men are afraid of the light. When real tragedy of the life is when men are afraid of the light. Okay, so and read the question, the tail of the question very, very carefully. Bring out what it means to you, what it means to you in the present context. So what it means to you, and second is in present context. So it, what does it mean to you? इस word का मतलब है, it means that you can take in any perspective, in any perspective. Okay, it is not limited just to civil services. ठीक है, not just limited to civil services. You can take any perspective, it is up to you, and in present context. So while giving examples, give recent one, give recent one. And this recent word is very broad, recent word is very broad, so you may take a spectrum of examples. There is no limitation in that. So let me first explain you how would you writing the introduction of a quote based question. So this is the first thing I want to introduce, how to write introduction of quote based question. So this is a quote and you have to write the introduction. So the best way, or the one of the ways to introduce the quote based question is if you know the name of the person who has given the quote. So अगर आपको स्कॉलर का नाम पता है, then you can bring that. And in many cases, कई बार यूपीएससी और जो कमीशंस हैं हमारे, they write the name of the philosopher or scholar in that only. But even if you don't know the name of the scholar who has given that particular quote, it is perfectly fine. There is no problem in that, and nobody is going to cut any marks, because they never ask what is the meaning of that quote for that particular scholar. They always ask, discuss the quote in present context, and what do you understand by this quote. So even if you don't know the person who has given that quote, it is not a big concern, and even not big, and even it doesn't matter. So for your understanding, I can tell you this quote is given by Plato, and Plato is a Greek philosopher. Greek philosopher. In this quote, see very very carefully, it says you can forgive a child who afraid of dark, and but tragedy happens when man is afraid of the light. Man is afraid of light. So in this particular quote, a child and a man, how they are different, what is the meaning of dark and light, if you understand these aspects, writing answers to this quote will be very very easy. So in introduction, always think what kind of value is involved, what kind of value is involved, or the scholar while giving this quote, what was the intention while giving this quote, what was the intention, what sort of a particular priority that scholar want to assign, the what is the priority. ठीक है, तो क्या वो कहना चाहता है एक्चुअल में, किस फाउंडेशन वैल्यू की वो बात कर रहा है, आप उसको लाओगे. सो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर कोड इट सेज child dark, men fear the light, means this, in this particular quote, the Plato is of the view that there must be primacy or value should be given to the knowledge, or wisdom. This is the core demand of this particular quote. While giving this quote, Plato was of the view that if a person is having knowledge, man means person with knowledge, if this person, despite having knowledge, not adhering to the light means truth, then it is a problem. Light means can be truth, and light ka another meaning can be the new knowledge. The new knowledge. So man can be a knowledgeable man, or a man who is aspiring for the knowledge. If man is aspiring for the knowledge or having knowledge, using it in a positive manner, then tragedy will not happen. Tragedy comes when knowledge is not there, or a person with knowledge but lack integrity. Knowledge without integrity is dangerous. ये मैंने आपको कोट कराया है. And knowledge अगर नहीं है, then again think, एक ऑफिसर और एक डॉक्टर who has a, a brilliance in integrity, but out of 10, 9 operation he does are the failure. So you cannot trust this person. So man fear the light means this person, this doctor has not pursued knowledge, not tried to upgrade and reskill, upskill himself or herself. So this quote calls for knowledge and wisdom, and this quote also reflects the importance of intellectual integrity, critical thinking. Okay, so I have told you 2 points. First, knowledge होना चाहिए, and second, if you have knowledge, you are utilizing this knowledge to reason. I hope now this is clear. So you have, while introducing any quote, you have to take the value premise of the quote. in the introduction, and don't give more than 2 lines for the introduction, because while you will be elaborating the quote in the main body, you will already be taking more space, because in explaining the quote various perspective can be taken, and that will be very helpful in fetching better marks. So always try to write a small introduction and conclusion in the quote based question. I hope this is very clear that you will go for writing the value premise. What is the value involved in the quote? Let us understand how you will proceed in the main body. In the question, it says, we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. So you will elaborate that what I understand with respect to child can be forgiven if he is afraid of dark. Dark can lack of dark, this person, this child will experience the dark. Dark means you are not able to understand what is going on. You are not able to understand what is going on means you lack understanding, you lack experience. That can be the reason, because you fear something that is unknown, fear of unknown. And these things are fear of unknown. When you are lacking understanding, you don't have experience, is very natural. And if something is very natural, you must forgive this, because this person, this child is not doing anything out of a deliberate intention to commit something wrong. If there is insecurity, you will be a concern, you will become desperate. If there is insecurity, if you are not sure how will things unfold, or how the other the person standing uh, in front of you will act, then how you will be insecure. So in that case, if something is wrong, something wrong happens, you must forgive. यहाँ डार्क का मतलब ये है, there is dark, there is no clarity, and this is the one perspective you will think in the context of dark. And now think with the perspective of a child. If this is a child, you must forgive this child to ensure the growth and the development of the child. Just think how many times our parents, our teachers, our friends forgive us. If by committing just one mistake, your parents or the friends or the teacher will punish you or will leave you, what will happen? What will be the morale of the person? What will be the uh, what will happen to the child? The child cannot sustain. Since childhood, multiple mistakes are being forgiven by all of us for others. So you will say that forgiveness is also important to ensure the growth and development of the child. Another aspect to think is, when there is dark, when there is dark and something wrong suddenly comes, so there is an instinct of survival. That survival instinct make you to act in a manner that will uh, create some kind of fear, and the child will become conscious. If we take another aspect from the child perspective, is that child is innocent, there is a scope of learning. So in order to ensure that this child will acquire knowledge in due course of time, we must forgive the child. So most of the cases you cannot penalize a child if he is afraid of dark, because of these many reasons. So give half a page for the first part of the question. Second part of the question is, real tragedy is of the life is when men are afraid of dark. Man means this person टेक इट लाइक दिस, अफ्रेड ऑफ लाइट. लाइट को आप इंटरप्रेट करिए. लाइट मीन्स दिस पर्सन हैज is mature enough. Think like that. This person is mature enough. Now you take the light. Light can be related to new knowledge. Light can be related to new knowledge. Can be related to accountability. Means if somebody is asking you why you have done this and you are saying no, no, I will not tell. And you are holding a post of responsibility. Then how can you deny that? Means you are avoiding the light. You are avoiding the reason. This reason and logic should be the prime guide of your decision making. I have told you earlier also that the empathy and the compassion should not be the prime guide of decision making. However, the rein of your horses must be in the hand of reason, rationality, and logic. So, if somebody is asking you the reason why this happened, so this is a light the person is focusing on you, that let us know what is inside you, why you did that, why things have gone wrong. So this accountability aspect you cannot deny, especially when you are at the decision making position. Third can be the new perspective. New perspective means you can think about the dissent with respect to the government or the officials. How can you deny the dissent? If you deny the dissent, it is said that dissent is the safety valve of democracy. If you will not allow dissent, the safety valve will not work and the democracy will explode and it will create the real tragedy. I hope this is clear to all of you. New perspective, listening to counter perspective means you cannot become the fountainhead of all knowledge. You cannot say that only I am telling what is correct. You must take into account the consideration of other perspective. Think about the allegory of elephant. We all are blind, and this is an allegory where an elephant is there and there are multiple blind people, and one of them touches the leg of the elephant. It says the elephant is like a pillar. One touches the tail and says the elephant is like a broom. Other touches the trunk that says the elephant is like a snake, or touches the body of the elephant and says it is like a stone or the rock. So no one is telling a lie. कोई झूठ नहीं बोल रहा है. But no one is telling complete truth. So that is called you must be open to new perspective. While writing the answers, you will just write open to new the if man afraid of light, he will not be open to new perspective or dissent. ब्रैकेट में लिख दीजिए एलिगरी ऑफ एलिफेंट. ठीक है, तो इस टाइप से आप उसको एक्सप्लेन करोगे. सो यू मस्ट बी ओपन टू अदर्स पर्सपेक्टिव. इफ पर्सन हैज सेड समथिंग, listen why this person has said this. You cannot say no, no, what I have understood that is the complete truth, because that cannot be complete truth. Jainism says अनेकांतवाद, शादवाद, शायद उसका भी व्यू सही हो सकता है. Because truth is whole. Truth is whole. This is the UPSC topic essay they have asked. The truth is whole means what you are saying is just one truth. Truth is whole. एक आपका व्यू जो है वो एक व्यू है. That is not complete truth. This will bring humility in character and avoid some sort of tragedy. Here light means you are open to rethink. Sometimes you say please rethink, reconsider, and person says I never reconsider. Even Honorable Supreme Court says, and Supreme Court says, I reconsider our decisions. Then how a man can never deny for the light. With the advent of new perspective, Supreme Court has changed its decision multiple times. Think about the evolution of basic structure doctrine. Before that, Sankari Prasad, Golaknath, Sajjan Singh. Then comes Keswanand Bharti case. After that, Menaka Gandhi, Minerva Mills. Across the time, Supreme Court has reconsidered the decision. And this is the way we have seen more than 100 constitutional amendment acts have been done in our living constitution. That is why it is said that constitution is a living document. If you are living, आप जिंदगी जी रहे हो, केवल सांसें नहीं ले रहे हो, if you are living, then you will rethink, you will reconsider. This is called, then only the tragedy will not happen. अगर ये स्टैटिक होता, ये लिविंग डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं होता, ये चेंज नहीं हो रहा होता, लाइट मींस न्यू पर्सपेक्टिव के हिसाब से, न्यू सोसाइटी के हिसाब से, जुडिशरी ने राइट टू प्राइवेसी नहीं रिकॉग्नाइज किया होता, एलजीबीटीक्यू के राइट्स नहीं रिकॉग्नाइज किए होते, then what would have happened? This constitution must have collapsed. So in order to ensure that constitution will not collapse, it is said that we must ensure that there is rethinking and reconsideration with the advent of new light. Then again, you can think that the light can be examination of the life. Examination of the life. You must introspect. You must introspect what you are doing. So introspection is required. It is said, Socrates says, unexamined life is not worth living. So you have taken one decision today. Think about that. If that decision, what can be the impact of that decision? So in that you can think about the example of drug addiction. The youth are indulging in drugs. Why? Whether they don't know that drug is a wrong thing to take. They know, but they are not getting adequate time to examine the life, or they don't introspect that all the intoxicants are wrong. They will harm our life. The unexamined life is not worth living. The life will turn to the animal existence. Men fear the light. Light here is the your examination of the life. Think about the fake cardiologist. This was the example, it was in news recently. Fake cardiologist. Just for the sake of money, this person is treating man as a means, against the Kantian ethics, that Kant says treat man as an end in itself. You can never treat a man as a means. So see how I am opening the points, how I am generating the dimensions. In this I have told you that when it is said that a person is should be open to the perspective and this the constitution aspect. See how I'm bringing multiple dimensions in your answers. Again think, if this person is thinking that I am the fountainhead of all the knowledge, this fountainhead will not let the others people to participate. जो लोग हैं, that officer, that person will think about the bureaucracy only. They will go for top down approach, and top down approach will never yield better results. There will be lack of sense of belongingness, and people will not participate, and without people's participation you cannot bring lasting change. Then again, some people think I alone can do everything. And Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, says The good institutions are not built alone. Yeah, good businesses are not done by one person only. So think about interdependence. Interdependent. UPSC asked this question. We all are interrelated. We cannot survive without interdependence. The sooner we realize it, the better it will be. So this is the light, this is the wisdom, this is the knowledge that our survival is interdependent. Think about the nature and the life of human and environment का आपस में relation है. That's why it is said the development must take into account the environmental ethics. So sooner we realize, the better it will be. Interdependence means the global problems are interconnected. You cannot go for a isolationist approach. If we had a pandemic, no one country can solve this problem of pandemic without global cooperation. Global problem needs global solution. So the sooner we realize, the better it will be. So think about the willful ignorance. Willful ignorance means somebody is putting light to you. See, this is the problem. You have to do this. This is what you have to do. And it takes for candidates and it causes multiple attempts for the candidates to understand what the real mistake is. And if person is telling you again and again, do this, do this, do this, no, I will do what I want. So willful ignorance for narrow self-interest. Willful ignorance means you are hitting the light, afraid of light. For example, USA is saying climate change is a hoax created by developed countries. So this is a willful ignorance. Under the President Trump, he is in the denial mode, not facing the light, and it is a tragedy of the life. Then you think about next point. You can think light means tolerance, means you are tolerant enough to the light. And if you are afraid of the new perspective, new vision, तो tolerance आपका नहीं होगा. And you can link this tolerance with orange economy, the creative economy. Okay, then you may think about the light with the perspective of Gandhian sin. गांधीयन सिंस से आप ऐड करके देखिए कि उसमें आपको कितनी सारी लाइट्स दिखेंगी. I have created a mnemonic C for the commerce without morality. So this morality is the light, and you are doing commerce without taking into the consideration of morality. There will be grave consequences. I hope this is clear. Then think about the science without humanity. This humanity perspective is the light. And if you are not taking the science in order to solve the problems of humanity or going against the nature, then it will create a real tragedy of life. Think about the designer baby. What sort of tragedy will be there? Then think about the religion without sacrifice. Asaram Bapu, tragedy of the life. Then think about the, say, it is about wealth without work. Wealth without work. If you go for wealth without work, think about the Kingfisher Airlines, think about the Nirav Modi, or all the people though under the corruption charges, Pooja Singhal and all. Then think about knowledge without character. I have given you adequate things. The mass cheating aspect, what happens? Okay, so all these Gandhian sins you can add, how these positive aspects can act as light, and if you ignore that, there will be the tragedy of life. The politics without principles. If you don't do politics without principles, what will happen? You all know the tragedy of life, because the politics gives decision making power, how to govern the people. I hope these things are very clear to all of you. And one more, yes, so next one is the pleasure without conscience. Means if the person is seeking pleasure without conscience, there is a tragedy of life. How? Think about the rapist. Out of the lust, He will not seeking pleasure. He is seeking pleasure without conscience. So all these things you can link with the Gandhian sense also. So this is the way I am giving you how you will think on this question. Okay, so I think these many aspects are clear. Then how will you structure the answer? So first give the introduction, then give second aspect, how you can forgive a child, half page. Then comes main part of the question, how it is a tragedy of human life if the man fears the light. इसमें आपको दो पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचना है, फॉर द सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट लाइट, लाइट फॉर द सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट एंड फॉर अदर्स. फॉर अदर्स में ये सब चीजें आएंगी. फॉर द सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट थिंक अबाउट द पर्सन इज सीकिंग नॉलेज, परसुइंग फॉर एक्सीलेंस. So strive for excellence. Strive for excellence. This is the fundamental duty. If you will not follow the fundamental duty, the rights of other people will be compromised. If rights are compromised, there is tragedy of life. So the person must strive for yoga karmashu kausalam. What Gita says, I have told you already. Then you give all the examples I have suggested you and just break this at the individual level. What will happen if the life is unexamined, life is not worth living, drug addiction. Okay, then think about, you can think about the family level. If life is not examined, then what will happen at the family level? You will not adhere to the rule of law, because you will think what I consider good is good, and you keep asking for dowry. Then tragedy of the life, because you are not adhering to the law and ethics. Then comes individual level, family level. Then think about the society level. Societal level pe, I have given you multiple example. At the societal level, you can think about interdependence, the social capital aspect. And society mein you can think about the economy, the orange economy example I have given you, how that will not survive or that will not flourish. Then think about individual level pe, the growth will not happen if the person is not is afraid of light. Think about the is जियोसेंट्रिक से हेलियोसेंट्रिक पे गैलीलियो वाला जो एस्पेक्ट था. सो ग्रोथ ऑफ द सोसाइटी इज आल्सो डिपेंडेंट फॉर न्यू लाइट. न्यू लाइट मींस न्यू पर्सपेक्टिव. आई हैव गिवन यू हाउ टू ओपन इट. देन यू कैन आल्सो थिंक अबाउट एट द नेशनल लेवल. नेशनल लेवल में आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की बात कर सकते हो. देन थिंक अबाउट इफ यू आर ट्रीटिंग जस्ट मैन एज अ मीन्स. अगर आपने मैन को एज अ मीन्स ट्रीट किया, देन यू विल नॉट टेक केयर ऑफ द डिग्निटी ऑफ द मैन. You will think what I say, that is the correct thing. So in the administration, the person will not adhere to the request of right to information. So denying the right to information, not respecting the dignity, and compromising the life of the person means tragedy of the life. I hope this is now clear. Then think about the virtue ethics. Virtue ethics. If this person is not striving for excellence and not adhering to the light and fearful of light, what sort of character this person will build? So be flexible to the extent that if you are learning something. So now I think this is clear. Then think about the society, the national level. Then you think about the international level. I have given you the example of the interdependence, global cooperation, and willful denial, the Paris Climate Agreement and all. So with this content, you will be able to write the better answer. Now comes how you will conclude it. So you can conclude it by saying that this quote gives a powerful message that every person is strive to embrace knowledge and truth as a guiding principle. And this can be achieved by Socratic method of dialectic, means you can discuss. You give your view, then other person will give you the view, the thesis, the antithesis, then comes synthesis. You can think by developing the emotional intelligence, by social awareness, the societal awareness. Some people keep saying you don't have emotional intelligence, but what? Have you understood the perspective of other person? Maybe by one iota it may be correct. Then comes the knowledge inculcation, then role of family, the role of education institution, the media, the peer group, all comes. So I hope now this is very clear how you will be writing the कोट बेस्ड आंसर्स. कोट बेस्ड आंसर में you have to also think the why and how aspect. Why and how. I have told you why you should forgive the child, but I told you how it can become a tragedy of the life. Think, differentiate, and understand, then write. Okay, then move on. The second question is, this question I find a bit simple and not very tricky. I will not take much time to explain that. It is the what is ethics? Let me take the question. Okay, so the second question is differentiate between ethics and morality. So this is the first part of the question, and second part is explain the determinants of ethical action. So determinants of ethics, this is directly in the syllabus, so you can write. Listen, if it has asked that what is differentiate between ethics and morality. So don't start with directly explaining what is ethics and what is morality as a definition in the introduction only. The better is you give the context or the reference that I understand what broadly they mean. So broadly, ethics and morality are the standards of righteousness and wrongness. However, they differ in scope, source, objective, etc. So it has set the tone that in the main body you are going to explain the differences. And don't give much space in writing the introduction. I have shared the copy of one topper in the Telegram group. So refer that, and you will find this person is not writing introduction of more than 2 lines. Introduction is just a opening statement that set the tone for the main body. You cannot give entire gyan on this particular question. कि क्वेश्चन का जितना ज्ञान है हम सब इंट्रोडक्शन में देंगे. नो, दैट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. देन कम्स हाउ यू विल डिफरेंशिएट. और डिफरेंशिएशन के मैंने काफी सारे क्वेश्चन करा रखे हैं. हाउ यू विल अप्रोच दैट. नेवर मिस द क्राइटेरिया एस्पेक्ट. Criteria is very very important. So you can define, you can give the scope, you can give the source, you can tell how flexible it is, you can say how much this can be enforced. Then what is the locus of control, who determine it. Then think about the objective. What is the objective of having this particular thing? So if you define, I think you all know what is the meaning of morality and the ethics. So it is about the righteousness and the wrongness. If it is done at the societal level, it is ethics. If it is done at the individual level, personal level, it is morality. Then comes scope. The scope of ethics is broader, the morality scope is narrow. How broader and narrow? Because it is the societal level, so most of the people will follow. But at the individual level, this is very personal. The source of morality is personal experiences, personal choice of religion, personal choice of interest in particular aspect. However, societal morality can be shaped by laws, can be shaped by religion, can be shaped by other informal institutions. For example, in our society, one individual may not prefer taking dowry, but it has become a societal norm. Who has done that? This is informal understanding. That is also setting the ethics. Society as a broad spectrum acknowledge the fact that there should be dowry. That's why it is going on. But at the individual level, most of us don't believe it. Then think about flexibility. Morality is generally not flexible. जो person को लगता है वो करता है. But ethics is a bit flexible. But this is very relative. You can argue that, oh, no, in this particular case morality is a more flexible, or the ethics is more flexible. So vice versa it can happen. But for the broader understanding, you understand that ethics is flexible. Ethics is not that flexible because इसमें broader understanding society के level पे acceptance आएगा तब ये ethics change होगी. Morality can be changed easily. But sometimes think about the राजा राम मोहन रॉय. उनकी morality तो frigid थी. They have not accepted sati, and they have ensured that so ethics will change, and the sati became illegal. So it can be considered in any manner, but broadly you understand, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ज्यादा लोग हैं, सोसाइटी के लेवल पे है, उसको चेंज करना डिफिकल्ट होगा. थिंक अबाउट द एलजीबीटीक्यू राइट्स. सोसाइटी के लेवल पे अभी चेंज लाना, लिव इन रिलेशन, इट्स डिफिकल्ट, बट इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे इट इज इजी टू चेंज. इन्फोर्समेंट, ये कंसाइंस के बेसिस पे इन्फोर्स होगा. इफ यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग योर मोरालिटी, यू विल फेस क्राइसिस ऑफ कंसाइंस. बट अगर आप इथिक्स नहीं फॉलो करोगे, यू मे फेस ऑस्ट्रसाइजेशन. आपको भगा देगा, बोले निकलो यहां से, है ना, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट अडेयरिंग टू द डेकोरम. So this is the difference. Then locus of control. Locus of control is external in case of ethics. In case of morality is internal. Objective क्या है? Objective is to make person individual better. हमें जो लगता है सही है, that I will do. Societal ethics का मतलब है कि societal level पे ethics का मतलब है कि objective क्या है उसका? They are looking for order in the society. Rules of the society are determined. I hope this understanding is clear. So you can write in this way, but must write the criteria as many as you can recall. Then comes the second part of the question. Second part of the question is about determinants of ethics. Determinants of ethics. Okay, so this determinants of ethics says who is determining what is right and wrong. What is right and wrong? Ethics means right and wrong. So who is determining that? This can be determined at the individual level, can be determined at the societal level. It can be decided by institutions. It can also be decided by the time. Time means with the time the things will evolve. So broad these four parts में आप अगर divide करते हो अपने आंसर को, so you can give multiple points within that. इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे थिंक अबाउट द राजा राम मोहन रॉय, सती, गांधी जी, अहिंसा, अशोका, भेरी गाथा से धम्मा गाथा चेंज हुआ. थिंक अबाउट द बुद्धा, है ना, वो घर से छोड़ के जाने का डिसीजन इनका ही था ना, दैट आई विल एस्टैब्लिश अ न्यू, आई विल अचीव द विजडम एंड आई विल डिसाइड व्हाट इज करेक्ट. हिंदुइज्म से बुद्धिज्म में जब जाते हैं तो वो रिलीजन इवॉल्व हुआ है. ठीक है, एक रिलीजन मानता है कि दिस पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट इज गुड, अदर ये मानते हैं कि रिचुअलिस्टिक चीजें होनी चाहिए, बुद्धिज्म, एंड अदर सेज नो, रिचुअल इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. ओके, देन थिंक अबाउट द सोसाइटल एस्पेक्ट. सोसाइटी में यू हैव कम्युनिटी. थिंक अबाउट द ट्राइबल वे ऑफ लाइफ. दे हैव अ डिफरेंट वे ऑफ लाइफ. दे डिटरमाइन देयर एथिक्स इन ओन वे that is environmentally sustainable. Or you think about the Bishnoi community. They have ethics of environment conservation and protection. The peers decide what is their ethics. आपस में they can. Then social group decide. Society के norms decide होते हैं. Think about the खाप पंचायत. For them, the intercaste marriage or the interreligious marriage and all this not ethical. So they are deciding it. The traditions decide what can be the ethics. तो संथाल कम्युनिटी में रिचुअलिस्टिक हंटिंग वाला जो एस्पेक्ट है, सबरीमाला में एंट्री ऑफ द वुमेन का एस्पेक्ट है, जेनिटल म्यूटिलेशन ऑफ दैट फीमेल जेनिटल म्यूटिलेशन. So this tradition deciding what is ethical. Then you can think about the scholars deciding what is ethical, the teleological aspect, the deontological aspect, the Kant, the other scholars. Okay, so think on those lines, how you are deciding what is ethical. But bring in under these four broad heads. इनके अंदर आप दो दो तीन तीन पॉइंट जो भी लिखोगे, these are okay. Then think about the institution level पे. Institution can be the religion as an institution. It decides that Jainism decide करता है that there should be Santhara practice is ethical for Jainism. Then think about the religion called the Sikhism. It's a langar pratha. is very common. Institution may think about the legislature, the judiciary, the executive. The legislature has banned triple talaq. This is not ethical. The judiciary has interpreted the right to privacy. Okay, that is ethical. Earlier, the privacy part was not there. Okay, they have determined what is ethical. Then think about the private life में, private institution में. The profit is very, very ethical thing because the institution cannot survive without profit. So different institution has different ethics. But in case of the public institution, you cannot go for profit. Now comes the time, the contemporary aspect. Over the period of time, the understanding of ethics have changed. This aspect you must include in your answers to fetch better marks. It shows that you are not writing the basic generic content. तो कंटेम्प्रेरी एस्पेक्ट में जो टाइम के साथ इवॉल्व हुआ है, थिंक अबाउट द राइट्स ऑफ द पीपल. अर्लियर से SC STs के राइट्स डिनाई किए गए, LGBTQ के राइट्स डिनाई किए गए, LGBTQ के राइट्स डिनाई किए गए. Supreme Court has said that we we owe the we apologize for the LGBTQ community for historical subjugation they have faced. ये बोला था I think Indu Malhotra, honorable judge of the Supreme Court of India. And a history of apology to LGBTQ, this sort of statement they have given. So rights evolve हुए हैं. Ethics के साथ ये अब better माना जाता है इनकी companionship को. Then think about the justice. The approach of justice has changed from retributive to rehabilitative justice. Earlier, king used to take eye for an eye. But now, with the advent of BNS, community service, the forgiveness aspect has given primacy. The reformative aspect. It is said that every saint had the past and every sinner has a future. Then how can you say that I can't forgive? Forgiveness is the virtue of a strong. So please forgive. Then comes technological evolution. With the evolution of technology, ethics is changing. जब हमने digital arrest पे एक वीडियो बनाया था, in that I told you the honorable President of India has pointed out. She said, Madam said that before 2013 it was hard to believe that anyone can fall prey to the digital arrest. But with the advent of AI and the social media, the tech, IT, and all the IR 4.0, we have evolved our understanding of technology. So this digital arrest has become a new norm. So new sort of rules are coming up. See, IT rule में amendment हुआ 2021 के rule आए. Why this evolution is happening? Why they are determining what should be the ethics nowadays? AI में जो changes हो रहे हैं. Then think about the change in economy. We have witnessing the gig economy और gig worker की social security पे कितना सारा debate चल रहा है. Now the ethics has changed. Nobody think about the gig worker की social security. Now this is ethical to think about the social security of the gig workers. Then you think about the media. Media ethics has changed a lot because changing public discourse. Public discourse has changed. Earlier the print media was there. Now the media ethics has changed. Then think about the Shreya Singhal case and IT Act का section 66. Honorable Supreme Court struck down that it creates the chilling effect. So this chilling effect आपको रोकता है कुछ बोलने से. You want to say something but you know if you speak up there will be backlash. So you will not speak only. The book will not be released, the cinema will not come just because the backlash will come. So that's why in order to avoid this chilling effect, the Shreya Singhal case, Honorable Supreme Court read down or declared this section 66 of the IT Act as unconstitutional and void. Then think about the globalization. This globalization aspect से कैसे ethics evolve हुआ है. MNCs का rise हुआ. These MNCs started entering in multiple countries, even in the tribal areas. When they entered the tribal area, they start taking up their traditional knowledge, and this traditional knowledge का फिर वो पेटेंट करा लेते थे. And what about the benefit? What about the benefits of the tribal people? What they will get? So it comes the Nagoya Protocol. Nagoya Protocol says access and benefit sharing. You access but share the benefit with the local tribal people. So I hope now this is clear. You have to divide this answer at the individual level, that is societal level, the contemporary, or the institution level. Then at the end, you will conclude this by saying that we as a citizens or the institution must be vigilant, must be open enough. We must be living in a manner that will understand the changing needs of the society to change the determinants of ethics, so that we as a society will progress and flourish. I hope this understanding is clear. Let us see some answers. We can easily forgive a child. The dark here refers to ignorance, which can be corrected by education, whereas fear of light signifies the willful blindness. ठीक है, अच्छा लिखा है. Then comes why are men afraid of light? Abhi, this part was missing. The first part was missing. So and you have missed the first part, miss किया था. And the second thing is the tragedy of life. इससे link नहीं किया था. So this answer was lacking in that sense. And corrective measures, you have just stick to, I will say, the आपने civil servants और public service पे ज़्यादा focus किया है. So that can be open in multiple aspect that as I have discussed. So differentiate between the ethics and morality. Explain the determinants of ethical action. So ethics का मतलब आपने बता दिया, morality का बता दिया. That is what I was saying not to do, because यहाँ पे definition में आप वही aspect लिख सकते हो. ठीक है, because now you are repeating the same thing: individual belief, the systematic set of external principle. So better it is you just give reference that they are the standards of deciding righteousness and wrongness, and uh, there are differences at the level of scope and the sources and all. So you, based on that, you can moderate your answer and reconcile. So sources are derived from the philosophical reasoning, the societal standards are derived from the cultural norms, religious and the personal value, the flexibility aspect. Better लिखा है, ठीक है. More adaptable, can be refined, more rigid. ठीक है. It's very subjective what is flexible you are trying to understand. And the focus is a more theoretic concept, practical concept. I may disagree on this point. Application, professional field, laws. ठीक है. Objective, create a harmonious and functioning society. Behavioral maintenance. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पर आपने डिटर्मिनेंट्स ऑफ एथिक्स लिखे हैं. द रिलीजन, ठीक है, रिलीजन इज देयर, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ओके, द जुडिशरी, द कल्चर, द फैमिली एंड टीचर्स. I will suggest cover them under broad heads: the individual level, the societal level, the institution, or the contemporary aspect. If you include under these heads, it will be better, because religion is one of the institution. ठीक है, तो आप उस टाइप से कर सकते हो. ठीक है. Then ethics may be defined as obligation of morality. It suggests that morality without ethics is empty. No, this is not the suitable way of concluding that, because sometimes morality will prevail over ethics. Think about the Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So you can reconcile here. यहाँ पर can easily forgive a child. आपका एक आंसर आपने जो रीराइट किया था, I have taken that later before I take many more answers. Here the fear of darkness indicates fear of unknown. ठीक है, आपने बता दिया कि fear क्या है. Then child refers to, मतलब you can improve that, give value premise. ठीक है, better you give the value premise. Moral analysis, fear of darkness. A darkness frightened us because not us. Think about the child. ठीक है. बियॉन्ड अवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड कंट्रोल, महात्मा गांधी, कलाम. were not afraid of darkness, but this is about child and the darkness. Write those points why he is afraid, and you can forgive. वहां से लिखो courage and self confidence, so it can be improved. And then comes differentiate. ये ठीक है, ethics refers to this. By definition में ही आप वो काम करोगे, then why are you doing that? Again and again I'm saying what is asked in the question never cover in the introduction, otherwise you will compromise the body part. ठीक है, the nature consistent, ठीक है, ये ठीक है, you can elaborate rather than इतना छोटा छोटा लिखना, because you have to take that to 1.5 page. Consequence of ethical action, consequences are not asked in the question. Ethical action के consequence they have not asked, then why are you bringing that? Please leave it. Determinants of ethics, personal determinants, socio-cultural determinants. Anyway, you can write anything, but bring examples. Even in the first question, ये child forgive वाले में, I have given you many examples. Bring an example in every point. ठीक है? See, this is not required here, bhai. You have taken 1/3 of the space for introduction. It's not good. A patriarchal mindset, क्या? This is not the right way. आप हेडिंग लिखो ना, जो क्वेश्चन के पार्ट हैं उसके बेसिस पे डिसाइड करो. पेट्रियार्कल माइंडसेट, कास्ट, मतलब क्या कहना चाह रहे हो? आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. दिस इज नॉट द वे आंसर शुड बी हैंडल्ड, a question should be handled. Ethics is a systematic study of the human behavior, ठीक है. Then what it is for, ठीक है, ये सही है. In that the way of writing is good. You can always learn content here and there. Determinants of ethics, individual determinant, where is example? So conscience, this much don't write भाई, एक लाइन का एग्जाम्पल दो. कंसाइंस, इनर वॉइस दैट मेक पाथ ऑफ इंडिविजुअल, तो केशव चंद्र सेन, ब्रह्म समाज रिफॉर्मर, नॉट रिक्वायर्ड यार. हैड मैरिड 30, तो उससे क्या? क्राइसिस ऑफ कंसाइंस, दे हैव नॉट आस्क्ड, दे हैव आस्क्ड द कंसाइन. आप वो बताओ कि डिटरमिनेंट कैसे है. फैमिली, सोसाइटी, ठीक है, मतलब यू कैन ऑलवेज इम्प्रोवाइज ऑन दैट. Let's see this question. And here I want to tell you one more learning that you can take. We can easily forgive a child. See, the darkness refers to this, ठीक है. Now comes why you can forgive a child. Lack of education, crisp it, not required that much of elaboration, otherwise you will not be able to complete the paper. Mind it. Pretext of innocence, don't say pretext, वो सच में बेचारा ignorance. Sorry, pretext of innocence, pretext होता है कि आप excuse type का दे रहे हो. With my understanding means say understanding of innocence, yeah, we can forgive for the innocence, ठीक है. Toddler abusing without knowing exact meaning of the word, ठीक है. A child throwing plastic bag in the river, ठीक है, don't know the harm causes, ठीक है. Inability to differentiate between the right and wrong, ठीक. ये innocence और ये एक ही बात है ना. Mere copycat, yeah, good. Positive attitude, cut down please. A fear of light, tragedy of man's life, ये थोड़ा सा सही लिखा है अभी. You have elaborated on this part also, and there you have linked with the tragedy. Officials fears the light of transparency leading to the corrupt practices, fearing the light of changing lifestyle, ठीक है. Then light of progressive values, unorthodoxy, resistance to women entry to the suprema, good. But आप ये बताओ ना कि tragedy of life कैसे हुआ. यहां लिखो compromising women's right, ठीक है. फियर ऑफ लाइट, मैम अवॉइड राइटिंग अगेन एंड अगेन द सेम थिंग, बिकॉज इसको आप ना ये लाइट वर्ड को लिख के यू कैन अवॉइड, अगर आप करोगे ना तो यू कैन सेव योर वर्ड्स, ठीक है. देन कम्स फियरिंग द लाइट, अगेन क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग. सी, लाइट को आप किस पर्सपेक्टिव से ओपन करोगे, आई हैव गिवन यू, बट दिस इज अ बेटर आंसर देन व्हाट यू रिटन अर्लियर. नाउ टेक वन विजडम फ्रॉम हियर. टुडे आई एम विद यू, tomorrow I will not, because with the end of PYQs I will not be there to explain you for your whole life that how to write the answers and all. This is a limited time I have, and I'm doing that. So here I will suggest you one thing. See, this person has written answer first, आपने पहले देखा, and again she has rewritten the answer, and see the drastic change in the quality of the answer. Earlier she was not able to meet the demand of the question, but when you have rewritten the answer, so it shows that you have understood from the mistake. That's why I have said in the very first class that make a mistake page. If you make a mistake page, and I will again say, please write down the mistake you have committed in the first answer in your mistake page, and don't repeat in any of the quote based question henceforth will come. So my point is, please rewrite the answer. So in these many days, what you have left with, please don't run behind writing new answers again and again and again. I listen, people says I write 10 questions per day. How can you write? Every day you will write 10 question. End of the day, when you will be about to write the mains examination, you will have so many bulk of notebooks, but you will realize I have not learned anything from the answers I've written. So I will suggest, by the time you complete your 10 question with proper review and the mistake identification, it is better to rewrite the same answer again rather than writing new question and learning nothing. So see, this is the proper manifestation. If you rewrite the answer, your answer writing skills will improve. So with that note, I am summing up today's session. Thank you to all of you for your time and patience. Thank you.